This champion release is going to be one for the ages.
What was that blink?
So you're telling me I don't.
Breakouts. She has dashes in passive. Like, we didn't even begin.
Okay, so her passive is after every ability she has a free dash?
And she's absolutely broken.
We have a lot to cover today, including a ton of news later in the video, but let's discuss what we just watched. My initial thoughts are that if K'Sante wasn't canonically into men, we would have just found his wife. Earlier today, Ambessa Problem, the new top lane bruiser, was revealed and has been shipped to the PBE for testing. To help you exactly digest what we just watched, I'm going to super quickly run over her abilities in a very TLDR way. Firstly, she's an energy champion, and as we have all just seen, she's very dashy, so I assume this is a way for Riot to gate too much spamming. Every ability costs 70 energy, but if she gets an empowered auto off, it restores another 70 energy back to her. This makes it so she can't just spam everything to get away, and she actually thrives in fights a lot better than escaping from them. Now let's begin with her passive. It's basically a Kalista passive. It gives her a dash after every ability, after every auto though. Next, her Q. It's a big cleave, dealing more damage to enemies actually hit by the blades on the outer end of it, kind of like Darius's Q. If an enemy is hit, she also gets a Q2, allowing her to slam them down in a line in front of her for bonus damage. Her W gives her a shield. It also says she briefly braces herself. Does that sound familiar?
Release to dash in a line.
She then slams the ground. If she blocks damage with said shield, it does more damage with the slam. Her E whips her weapons around her, slowing nearby enemies. If it activates her passive, she slashes a second time as well. And lastly, her ult is basically a single targeted Yone or Vi ult. That's kind of about it, just a ton of dive. Now, as we've seen in the crazy footage thus far, I don't think I need to actually tell you what the Ambessa Problem is. Since her release, the whole community has voiced their concerns about the ever-present mobility creep. We all actually thought it was going the other way. The last 6 champions after K'Sante were all pretty tame in terms of their mobility. Like, we have Aurora. While she's OP, she's kind of just a Kali on steroids and certainly has her weaknesses. Smolder, while he has a reset, only has one cancelable reposition tool. Wei doesn't have any dashes. And Briar only has one small dash, which is conditional, other than her ult, and can still be CC. Neferi again only has one crazy mobility tool, which has counterplay, and Milio has no dashes at all. But then you have K'Sante and Ambessa, which more than make up for what was otherwise pretty tame mobility tools. I also think it really highlights the disconnect between old and new champions. Like, how does a carry champion with no mobility deal with such oppressive dive? Even RadRL commented below League's post, "Just wait until I throw my W to counter this champ," obviously joking at how futile a percentage slow is versus an all-dash champion that obviously isn't affected by slows at all. Among that, there was just straight up criticism, with people unable to believe this champion can exist in the same game as an old champion like Nemesis. The top post on Reddit right now, with over 5,000 upvotes, is making fun of how mobile Ambessa is, saying she literally can't have any more mobility because she has more than one mobility spell on every single one, and thus mobility creep has been ended. On the other side of this though, I honestly think her design is quite sick and she looks satisfying and fun to play. I really don't think this would be such an issue if there wasn't such a huge pre-existing roster of champions that don't have this much mobility. It does beg a very prominent question though. Is Riot trying to rebrand League gameplay to be more this dynamic dashy style of game? I mean, surely there'd be metrics to back up user satisfaction affiliated with more flashy champions or something, else they wouldn't keep making them. But of course, as this is a community-driven channel, I want your opinion on Ambessa and their future of League gameplay. Is mobility only going to continue going up? Let me know down below. Oh, and while you're on your way down there, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps the channel out, especially if you appreciate this League style news content. Oh, and also quickly, there is speculation that Melmedata, Ambessa's daughter from Arcane, will also be coming to League. We have this screenshot from League of Leaks saying she'll be the first coming in 2025, but who knows, it's obviously not confirmed. We just have this kind of shoddy screenshot. I don't know. Now, we still have a ton to cover in today's video, but before we do, I'm going to share the next best thing to help you climb other than locking in Riot's latest OP champion. I feel like something that's overlooked within the League community are peripheral advantages, but what do I mean by that? This means having equipment that allows you to play your best and gain an edge over the opponent. Enter Glorious's new GMMK3 Pro HE mechanical keyboard. But how does this help me to not int, Rival, you may ask? The GMMK3 features rapid trigger technology, giving you adjustable actuation points allowing for faster ability input recognition from your keyboard to the game. There is no keyboard more responsive than this. Even for a tool that we all use for hours a day in and out of game, the general typing and user experience is a real step up, one that I definitely cannot see myself going back from. On top of that, the GMMK3 features the most customizable design of off-the-shelf keyboards, allowing you to hot swap key switches top and bottom frames and switch plates. However you like your keyboard to feel, the GMMK3 has got it. And on top of all that, this is the most premium keyboard I've ever felt. Like, this thing is so heavy. With a full aluminium body, premium details, and a very sturdy feel, the GMMK3 is just what's needed to really elevate your typing and gaming experience. To explore Glorious's new GMMK3 Pro HE mechanical keyboard, you already know there's a link in the description for you guys, and thank you so much to Glorious for sponsoring this video. Now for the later half of the news, let's begin with the tale of asscheeksjr, the Gold 2 EUS prodigy that took down Faker in solo queue. This footage is from the channel today on the Korean server. The full video will be linked in the description, of course, but here's a couple of highlights from asscheeksjr versus a world champion. Check it out. Can you imagine loading into gold solo queue and seeing your versus Faker? I'd probably shit myself until I saw I had asscheeksjr on my team, then I know I'd be fine. Unfortunately, the game ended with a bit of a team diff, but I'm sure Ascheeks will make an appearance at Worlds 2026 to take his pride back off the king. Next up, have you ever been in the bathroom or making food between games only to hear the queue go off in your headset, prompting a sprint back to your PC only to miss it by a few seconds? Well, fear no more. Notorious streamer Bardanet, known for his unconventional bar top gameplay, developed a script to automatically accept queues so he could sleep. Have a look at this. Unfortunately, I was joking before, and Riot has said a few times any tampering with the client code can get you banned, so maybe don't do this, but I still thought it was funny nonetheless. Moving on, we have a bit of concern from the Vanguard aspect of things. Since Vanguard, there has been a noticeable dip in scripting and cheating, but that doesn't mean it still isn't happening. For installing a kernel level anti-cheat, you'd at least want it to be working, but as Bobkin shows in his TikTok here, this RE is most definitely scripting. Take a look.
This guy's scripting, by the way. I can show you guys proof. Whoa! He's scripting! Did you guys see that just now? That's a script! Wait, he's scripting! What are those prediction charms? Let me tell you guys what script means, okay? My W will be casted at the same time already cast a charm. That is a program. That's a machine. That's an AI telling you what to do. It's not reactive. They cast it at the same time, so it hit me perfectly at the same time. Look, I'm about to dash, and she's gonna throw her charm. It's gonna activate at the same time with two spells. I'm gonna dash from here to here. Look! You hear that Ari animation? I dash, she threw her charm right here in the middle. She has no information. I'm in the fog. I'm in the dark. She's already casting. We're casting the spell at the same time. Oh my god! Definitely not scripting, by the way. Not scripting, bro.
I do think, however, that this Ari has been banned since, so at least there's some proactivity there, because I remember last season, scripters in Challenger were getting to like top 10 without even a slap on the wrist, so maybe there's some still hope, I don't know. Now, have you ever wondered about the inner workings of a world champion team? Published earlier this week by Alban Zhu Films was this small info doc on the culinary team supporting T1's success in Korea. I don't know about you guys, but I always find this kind of content super interesting. Here is a snippet for you all, but if you want to watch the full thing, it'll be in the description below, of course.
특식 했을 때 같은 경우는 준비 엄청 바쁘고 정말 급하게 여러 가지 작업들을 많이 해서 뭔가 정신이 없을 때도 있겠지만 열어도 돼요? 네, 열어도 찍어 먹어도 될까요? 특식 했을 것을 다 선수들이 먹고 나서 가면서 인사 정말 너무 맛있었다, 미쳤다, 지렸다 그런 표현을 쓰면서 말해줄 때 너무 기분도 좋게 만들고 저희 스텝 친구들도 같이 기분 좋아지고 그러니까 응원이 되고 있습니다. 저희한테도.
Really, really well put together video by Alvin and his team. Now to break it up, along with the reveal of Ambessa, we also got the reveal of a new ARAM map, the Bridge of Progress, a Piltover themed ARAM map. As you can see behind me, it actually has a pretty different theme to Howling Abyss, and I really love the lighter modern aesthetic. There's even modern designed Piltover minions. Stuff like this really breathes fresh air into game modes we all play every day, and I hope Riot continues with game refreshes like this. I honestly think it's enough to draw a lot of players back to the game that once loved it, but let me know your thoughts on the Bridge of Progress down below. Now in the World's quarterfinals last week, we saw a 1 in a million play. Between Hanwha Life and BLG, the level of mid laners at this tournament was on full display as both Zekka's Silas and Knight's Galio input the same ability at the same time, leading to this absolute spectacle. Check it out.
They have no vision. They don't know where Bin is. Yeah, Bin is now going to move on in. They spot him. That is going to be the Kindred. Locking down the Drake is now Doran. Decent position. Double circles. Double Gallios. Everyone's in the sky, but it's on. That goes down now into the back lane goes Bin. Elk's going to join in the supercharger for all of that value. They take down Viper, and the Lamb's Respite buys all the time in the world. HLE are now running for the hills. It's a double kill again.
Very, very sick. And lastly today, we have Nemesis experiencing a mostly never before seen mechanic from Silas. When you think about it, it makes sense, but the level of execution here just looked amazing. Have a look.
What the f***? He can do that? Might have gotten outplayed there a little bit.
So obviously, in case we missed it, Silas TP'd in, cast E1 and stole Yone's ult, buffered R's cast time in the travel of E2, and also kind of hid the animation while gap closing the remaining distance to allow the stolen R to connect. Just a really cool play. It looked really sick. Anyway, that'll about do us for today. It's been so good having you guys here, and I'll see you in another news video very, very soon. Bye.